listening to the Positive Professional Podcast with your host, me, Tracy Yvonne. This podcast is a weekly conversation about all things mental health, self-care, and wellness. And there'll be sprinkles of positivity, mindfulness, and guided meditations. Welcome back to Season 4, Episode 31. Today's episode is going to talk about seasonal affective disorder. And seasonal affective disorder, also known as seasonal depression, is a type of depression that occurs at a specific time of the year, usually in the fall and winter months when there's less natural light. And here are some signs and symptoms of seasonal depression. The first one is depressed mood. Feeling sad, hopeless, or experiencing a general lack of interest or pleasure in activities you usually enjoy. Loss of interest or pleasure. That's decreased interest in activities or hobbies that you once found enjoyable. Changes in sleep pattern, and this can include oversleeping or having difficulty sleeping. Changes in appetite or weight. That can be increased cravings for carbohydrates, and weight gain are common in seasonal depression. Low energy, feeling fatigued, sluggish, or lacking in energy. Difficulty concentrating, and that could be trouble focusing on tasks, making decisions, or remembering details. Feeling irritable or agitated, and that could be restlessness, or a tendency to become easily frustrated. Social withdrawal, and that could be avoiding social interactions or withdrawing from relationships. Feeling guilty or worthlessness, or guilt, and that could be negative self-perceptions and a sense of hopelessness. And there's also physical symptoms, and some people may experience symptoms such as headaches or body aches. Now, there are several factors that may contribute to its onset. Reduced exposure to sunlight during shorter days of fall and winter can disrupt your body's internal clock, and this can lead to feelings of depression and lethargy. Reduced sunlight exposure may lead to a drop in serotonin levels in the brain. And serotonin is a neurotransmitter that affects mood, and lower levels are associated with depression. Reduced daylight can disrupt the balance of melatonin, a hormone that regulates sleep patterns and mood. Higher levels of melatonin, often associated with darker conditions, can lead to symptoms of depression. Less sunlight exposure can also result in lower levels of vitamin D. And some studies suggest that low levels of vitamin D are linked to an increased risk of depression. And there may be a genetic predisposition to developing seasonal affective disorder, and if you have a family history of depression or SAD, you may be more susceptible. Some hormonal changes associated with the changing seasons can affect mood. For example, the transition from summer to fall may involve hormonal shifts that contribute to SAD. Some individuals may associate certain seasons with negative experiences or memories, which can contribute to the development of SAD. And SAD is more common in regions with significant changes in daylight hours and less sunlight during the winter months. For example, it's more prevalent in northern latitudes. In the next segment, I'm going to share 10 ways to overcome seasonal depression. starting to notice that you may be developing seasonal depression, here are some ways to overcome it. The first is light therapy. Light boxes emit bright lights that mimics natural sunlight, which can help alleviate symptoms. It's important to spend time outdoors. Even on cloudy days, being outside can help provide some exposure to natural sunlight. Physical activity releases endorphins, which can improve mood and energy levels. Focus on nutritious whole foods and avoid excessive consumption of sugary or processed foods. Establishing and maintaining a regular daily schedule can provide structure and stability. Engage with friends, family, or support groups. Social connections are important for your mental health. And practice relaxation techniques. Techniques like deep breathing, meditation, and yoga can help manage stress. There's also therapy or counseling. And cognitive behavioral therapy and other forms of talk therapy can be very effective in treating seasonal affective disorder. And sometimes you may need medication, and that's where you would speak to your health provider about that. And lastly, what I'll share is to plan enjoyable activities. Engage in activities you find pleasure and fulfilling, even if you don't like it at first. So if you know someone who's struggling with seasonal affective disorder, it's important to seek help from a healthcare professional. They can provide a proper diagnosis and guide you towards appropriate treatment options. Thanks for listening and supporting this podcast. And make sure you're clicking the like and subscribe button. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Stay safe, be well, and don't forget to be the best version of you.